Hi Canisius, it's Wednesday, October 14th, and I'm Alexis Book. In today's news, we will be discussing the new change in Iggy's alcohol policy with USA President Rich Kubiak. We will also give you an inside look at the Alana Association's Hispanic Heritage Month. And as always, we will keep you updated on what happened in sports this past week and let you in on some upcoming events happening on campus. Stay tuned. This is Canisius Connections.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Undergraduate Student Association President Rich Kubiak. How are you today, Rich?
I'm doing well, Mike. Thank you for having me on. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I comb my hair really good. I think it's good.
And I would agree with that.
So, Rich, after Iggy's began serving alcohol midway through last school year, what was the response you received from students?
Well, I just want to start back and talk a little bit about how the plan came together. There was three people who really focused on the project, and that was a couple of senior senators, and Neil Savoy, as well as Andy Plewinski, and who last year, John Solak, was the student body president. They all worked together with administration to come up with this plan of how we could get alcohol to campus, because until then we were an alcohol-free campus. But the reaction from students once we got the alcohol to campus was that they were a little disappointed, because although we had alcohol on campus, it was 1 drink per hour, which for most people isn't very much. So there was a little bit of disappointment to start out with the program's inception.
1 drink per hour? Ain't nobody got time for that. How did the administration feel students handled the ability to purchase alcohol on campus?
Well, given the nature of the pilot program with only 1 drink per hour and a max of a few per night, there wasn't really the ability for students to abuse the system at this point. So administration was pleased, but where administration was displeased in a sense was that a lot of people weren't using the policy. Other than its initial opening night where there was upwards of 50 drinks, there was usually on average less than 10 drinks purchased a night, which isn't enough to make it seem as if it's something that students really wanted. So that's why we re-looked at the policy and said, what's the best way to move this forward?
All right. And what led to the idea to amend the current alcohol policy, and could you outline what the new policy would be?
I'll talk about it as much as I know is certain, but the way the new conversation came about, how we go from last year's pilot of 1 drink per hour into something new that better fits to the student body that we have here at Canisius, was through my weekly meetings with Dr. Mangione. Honestly, it was a topic that we were sitting there, I always walk in with a list of things that we want to talk about from the student perspective, or what's going on in student government and how we can make certain things better. And one of the topics that came up, actually, when Dr. Mangione said, and what's going on with the Iggy's alcohol policy, how does Senate feel about that? And then that's what really got the ball rolling, because it was just in a back and forth conversation. But as far as where the policy is going to be going, we know next Friday, which is October 23rd, there's a few big events happening on campus, and that's when the updated policy is going to be released to all students, of course, over 21. And then the way that it's updated is it's going to allow more drinks with an hour limit and more drinks overall throughout the entire night. So it gives a little more leeway and a little more trust and responsibility that makes the students a little bit more accountable rather than just the 1 drink an hour.
I see. And do you think that the original policy was too strict, or do you think it was an important first step towards what this new policy will be?
The way that I think it was too strict is that we could have had another policy where I don't think bad or ill effects would have come from the policy, but I understand with a pilot program why you have it be a little bit more strict than you typically would have a program when it's at its smoothest level. So it was an important first step. It was very strict, but I don't think it hindered anybody's ability to have a good time on campus, or the way that people go about operating in their social life. So I don't think it impacted people on campus. In a negative capacity, it just didn't get to where we want to be as quickly as we could have.
And do you have a timetable in mind for when you'd like this to be enacted?
Yeah, actually, as I mentioned just a little bit ago, October 23rd is the planned start date. From the meeting that Dr. Mangione and I had, I invited her to a Senate meeting, and she came and she heard the feedback that all of Senate had on the issue, whether that be, not just the alcohol-related policy. It's how do we increase the food? How do we make better food options for people who just want to go in there and have appetizers that aren't necessarily fried food? So that was another point of discussion that came up, is having healthier food options. So that's something we hope to see by next Friday. And really, the conversation's already taken place between Dr. Mangione and John Chycinski, who's the head of Chartwell's, and he's just fact-checking a couple of things and seeing what can and what can't happen with the policies that he has to operate under as part of Chartwell's. So next Friday is the hope.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Rich, and we look forward to seeing the new changes at Iggy's. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Brandon and I will have the latest in Canisius athletics. Stay tuned.
Everyone loves the picture I posted of you.
AT&T reminds you, it can wait.
Runners lead from first and second. Sussman is 2 out of 2 with a couple of runs scored. And that ball is absolutely scorched to left. 3-run shot. And the Mets have blown it open. I would say something, but you couldn't hear it anyway. Cannot wait for the StatCast numbers on that shot.
Welcome back, everyone, to Canisius Connections. My name is Brandon Rudd.
And I'm Mike McQuade.
And we are your favorite hosts for your favorite segment of Kessler's Corner, your center of weekly recaps about your sports teams in C Block as a whole. And speaking of centers, Mike, what was the big headline this past weekend?
I'm glad you asked, Brendan, because all the action that happened for the Griffs was centered on last Saturday, and the main event was a duel on the ice. Hockey season was finally back as the Harbor Center opened its doors for a second consecutive year for the start of the regular season. Penn State was the opponent for the contest and also the spoilers for the Griffs as they came out on top by a score of 6-1. The Griffs fought valiantly behind their goaltender, Riley Turner, who had a career best in 39 saves, but couldn't really get any help from his team in the loss. The only bright spots for the Griffs in the scoring column was Ralph Kudemi, who was assisted by Shane Konchner and freshman Dylan McLaughlin in getting his first goal of the season. Despite the opening loss, the team is moving on to their next contest against Bowling Green this Friday at the Harbor Center. Hopefully they can get on the right track soon.
Yeah, that seems to be a theme for the Griffs on that Saturday, especially for the volleyball Griffs, as they were coming off a 2-game losing streak heading into a rival game against Niagara. Sadly, the game would just continue the losing streak for the Griffs as they were shut out in the match in 3 straight sets. Caitlin Tyler was a spark for the team as she led the team with 15 kills in the contest. For this week coming up, the team will have 2 chances to end their losing streak as they will play against St. Peter's on Saturday and Ryder on Sunday, which are both away games.
Funny you should mention the away games, because that's what women's soccer team also had to go through, as they had one on that Saturday as well. Following the same script as the volleyball team, they were on a 2-game losing streak, looking for a way to change all that against Iona. Luckily for the Griffs, that's as far as they would go following that same script, as they won their matchup with a shutout of 1-0. Goalkeeper Kaylee DeFranks was the star of the game as she kept a clean sheet with 8 saves during the contest. She hopes to continue that type of performance this Saturday as the Griffs will be on primetime ESPN3, this go-around facing Quinnipiac at home.
And I'm sure everyone's really looking forward to that ESPN3 matchup this Saturday. Now let's move on to last Saturday's contest as men's soccer had the battle Iona's men on ESPN3. It was a very grueling game as regular time wasn't enough to settle things between the two teams. It took not one but two overtimes to decide the winner, and sadly, Iona was the one left standing as they won the game 0-1. You could say it was a reverse of fortune for them as the women's side for the Griffs was on the better side of the same score. Well, next time the men hope to join the winning side as they go to Hampton, Connecticut to face Quinnipiac this Saturday.
That one should be a good one to see.
Indeed.
In other Griff sports news, rowing was supposed to compete in the Head of the Niagara contest but was canceled due to wind. They will hopefully see action this Saturday as that will be the Head of the Charles contest in Boston. Also, swimming and diving get their season going against Marist on Friday at the Flickinger Center.
Sounds great, Mike. Well, that's all we have for you today in the Kessler's Corner. We are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we will come back with some lifestyle news. But finally, be sure to check us out on the next broadcast on all things Griff Sports, as we will do what we do best, and that's recap the action for you. This has been Brandon Rudd, and that's Mike McQuade, and this was Kessler's Corner. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Canisius Connections. Hispanic Heritage Month is drawing to a close this Thursday, and to celebrate the month, the Canisius Alana Association showed the student body aspects of Hispanic culture. Griffin Insider Kia Gale has the inside look.
Hello, my name is Kia Gale, and today we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Tonight in Grupp Fireside Lounge, we learned how to do the basic salsa, and also we ate Colombian empanadas and Puerto Rican pastelillos. We're here with Paula Uberock to get more. Hello, tonight I'm here with Paula Uberock. Hello, Paula, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about more of this event?
Well, the consistency of this event was we brought some dancers, some performers from Moran Heritage. This is a nonprofit organization who dedicates itself to perform around Buffalo, promoting diversity and multiculturalism. So this event today was to expose students to the different Latin American cultures like Puerto Rico and Colombia. And we also had some dance lessons that we all enjoyed very, very much. And it was just really fun, and it was just to expose the students to the different cultures around the world.
La tierra te empuja, la raíz y cae. La tierra suspira si no te ve más. Oye, Cayetona, sepárame la oreja. Manolo.
I also did the salsa dancing tonight, and I broke a sweat. This was like one of the best events I've ever been to. Paula, can you tell us about more events that's going to be going on for the Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, as for diversity, we are done with our events, but I do understand that LASSIV has some events coming up. They also have a dance teacher who's going to be coming up some days during the next couple of months. But for us, these are the last events. But we do have more events coming up for the other things.
Great. So everyone, be on the lookout for those events. I'm Kia Gale, and this is Griffin TV.
Thanks, Kia. Now let's take a look at some upcoming events on campus. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this Thursday, Colleges Against Cancer is hosting their annual Pink Party in the Palisano Pavilion from 5:30 to 8. Come by to play a game of brawl pong and possibly walk away with a free Hakuna Matata's shirt. The Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk is this Saturday at 10 a.m. at Canalside. Register today with hundreds of Canisius students as they take steps towards a world without cancer. There's still time to get your hands on tickets for this year's fall performance, White Panda, an EDM experience. Tickets are $5 and will be sold all day at Student Life. Are you enchanted by the glitz and glam of the Roaring Twenties? Then don't wait to get your ticket to this year's semi-formal. $10 gets you into the Great Gatsby-themed party where there'll be food, gifts, and tons of fun and dancing. Think you have what it takes to compete in a fast-paced competition in order to win a TV, a Keurig, or an Apple iPad? Stop on by Palisano at 8 p.m. this Friday to play games from the hit TV show A Minute to Win It for a chance to win big. Well, that's all we have for you today. Keep up to date with what's happening on campus by following Griffin TV on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We air a new show every Wednesday on Channel 4.1 at 7 p.m. From all of us here at Canisius Connections, have a good week, Canisius.